Hi there, this is Nicole DeBoer, also known as Lieutenant Ezri Dax from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And welcome to Star Trek Fleet Command.
Fancy intro music, yeah! Woo! Hey there, Star Trek Fleet Command fans. Welcome back to another video. And I told you, this morning we're going to take a look at the event store. I waited to do this for quite a while because I wanted to make sure everything that was getting added to the event store that we hoped would get added would be. And I think we've got everything. Sure, maybe not everything, but I think we got everything. And I think now we got to talk about the value of it. And there are several different ways to look at this, especially from different level ranges. I mean, how you would approach this event store at level 25 is different than how you might do it at level, say, 35 or 45. And I think as a whole, what you have to look at is what benefits you the most as a player right now. Too often, we look at it in terms of, how will this help me 10 months down the road? And with the instability or volatility, or however we want to say it, with how things have been lately, with the prices and event stores up and down, I think we really got to look at what you can do to secure your position right now. So what I want to do in this video is talk about what I believe you should be spending your credits on. And keep in mind, this is just what I think and based on the opinion that I have. If you choose to do whatever you want with it, that's fine. It's your Neutronium. Spend it how you like. But we've gone through several different events now and a few different leaderboards. And for example, I'm sitting at 340-ish thousand Neutronium. Some of you might have a little bit higher. We've estimated that, in the free-to-play run, you should get anywhere from 700,000 to maybe 1 million, depending on where your alliances are placing, where you are in events. And that could go up and down and factor sideways, left ways, right ways. But as you can see, we've got a week left on the TOS Leviathan Battle Pass. So we've got plenty of time to continue to earn more of this Neutronium. And we had, plenty of ways to earn it today. But the main thing that I want to get at is how this has really affected, your ability to progress in the game, and has it really affected that at all? So like with today, I had to go and do this SMS right here, which got me a little bit of Neutronium and then an officer that I really don't care about getting in checkoff, but we'll take it. We'll take free rares because rares, remember, under decks, help boost those stats up. So let's start with the first two, probably the big names. Getting Dupont and Makinen added, or Katarina West, as I like to refer to her. Dupont's name stayed the same for whatever reason. But anyway, having these two mining officers from Section 31 added really helps provide some value to the officer set in this group. I'm going to start with what I believe is the most important officer, and this is basically opinion, remember that, but always push officers first in these stores. Number one for me is TOS Kirk. Now, you see I'm 50 shards away. I will be buying TOS Kirk and making sure that I unlock him. I'm waiting to the end to make sure that, just to kind of help calculate the score of exactly what I have and what I can afford. But TOS Kirk is my number one. After that, though, I actually start going over to the mining officers. And the reason being is you look at Elia Makinen, if you don't have her already, the mining speed plus the isogen mining speed, making her good on any ship when it comes to mining. And then probably the one that most people will want more. I actually like Elia Makinen more because I have a bunch of these now. But Dupont, which is the protected cargo as well as the mining speed. So both of them are very, very good. A lot of people are going to like that bonus to protected cargo. I like the double boost of speed that Makinen has. But either way, they're good cards. This, though, is honestly something that if you want to talk about what could you spend hundreds of thousands of credits on to max out, I hate giving a lot of love to miners, but man, that's just something we are in this game, is you've got to do it. And it really pays to focus in on that. And that's something that DuPont's going to give you, is a bonus to those. I love the synergy that you have with the other mining sets. The only thing I would say that gives Makinen a little bit of an advantage is she's going to give you a bonus to things like your, Latinum mining, things to your data mining if you want to run multiple botany bays. A little bit more versatility here than you get the isogen, but having more officers that do the protected cargo obviously are a huge win. DuPont now to Pring, 1 of 10. Yakim and all his friends do it. We've got a lot of officers that are building on that protected cargo, and it's good to keep focusing in on that. So TOS Kirk and then the 2 mining officers. And now I'm going to give you 2 more. So I'm going to give you 5 officers total that I believe are focus worthy. And then I would go TOS Uhura right next. We just had a video on her, talked about how well she works. And if you paid attention and you were at our live stream Sunday night, I showed you in action the battle log between TOS Uhura Enterprise versus non-TOS Uhura Enterprise, and how the TOS Uhura Enterprise wiped the floor with the non. And that's that was good stuff. Y'all should make sure you're there for those videos. And then finally, TOS McCoy. TOS Sulu is an option. I don't like TOS Sulu. I like to unlock him because I think having a morale officer, this captain's ability, is good. I think that's good. So unlocking him if you don't already have him is fine. But if we're talking about maxing out officers or taking him to the next level, TOS Uhura provides more value. And then TOS McCoy. That secondary is good, especially once leveled up. But it's not my focus. I would go TOS Kirk, then the mining officers, then Uhura, and then finally McCoy. Now, I also got to mention these, the ship BPs. You can certainly make a case for going after the Enterprise. Now, while you do have a limit now, and remember, the last event store we had didn't have a limit on a lot of these ships. That was likely a mistake, so you do typically have a limit on what you can get. But this is still saving you a lot of Federation credits if you're going after the Enterprise. But no matter what, whether you want the Enterprise or whatever, you need to make sure you're focusing on things like the Stella, the Vidar, the Discovery, the Devore, getting these specialty ships if you don't already have them, the Franklin. You're going to want those, especially if you're a player in the 20s. We're talking about what you want to focus on. If you're in the 20s, as important as the mining officers are, you've got to make sure that you've got a Vidar. You've got to make sure that you've got a Franklin, and you probably need to work on getting at least this half version of the Stella. It limits you to a half, but if you do this plus what you see in your store for the faction store, you can get a full Stella, and that is very, very important right now. The specialty ships are my number 2 priority and very, very important. Now, I'm not big on using these on like charged nanoprobes. I think Devore parts, spore drives, all these are things better spent in other places. That's my opinion. Doesn't make it right or wrong, but for me, value-wise, to get just a little bit of an increase, 20,000 spore components, is not worth me spending almost everything that I'm going to get. And that's the key. Now, I'll show you this in just a second, but I am actually not going to encourage any usage of getting tokens. Independent credits are always a good idea, but the tokens no, and here's why. So this is from the last ticket event, and everything that you could earn max. Now, granted, this is going to vary by level, but we're using this as just an example. DJ was, very kind enough to help put these numbers together. And when using this, so shout out to Ultimate DJ. But you see the par steel, the titanium, the dill, the gas. You would need 1.9 million Neutronium to equal what the events were giving us naturally. Now, I've got these numbers for level 34. I've got them for level 24 and everything. The big key and the big takeaway is you're simply not getting enough to make up for that. And I think that if that's the case, don't waste Neutronium trying to get what you don't have value to get. Use it to get the officers and the ships that you need. A final argument that can be made is going after things like uncommon gas, which I need a great deal of. Getting 50 uncommon gas for 19,000 is really not too bad of a trade-off. It's not amazing when I need my Intrepid. If I want to upgrade the cargo bay of my Intrepid, I think I need 3,300 uncommon ore. That's not realistic to get here in the event store. But I mean, if you need just a handful, 100, 200, then it does make sense to kind of go through it here. But number 1, remember, officers, and I gave you 5 of them. Number 2, the specialty ships. Number 3, uncommons if you simply have to. But you know what's more important than uncommons? Independent credits. The Borg use them. The Augment use them. We have a slew of new independent officers in the game now. And then you can look at some of these. Don't worry about the missions. These are old missions. There's nothing new here. That's not giving you anything great. No on any of this. No on any of this. No. Why in the heck would you ever in this stuff? Like, why would you even waste it? Look how expensive these are. 150,000 for a rare frame. Are you out of your daggum minds? Why would you look at this? This is silly. This is ridiculous. This is preposterous. no, don't do it. Just don't. Don't do this. I'll be very upset with you if you waste your time and my time watching this video only to buy frames and avatars. Just don't. So remember, officers, specialty ships, independent credits, and then uncommons if that's your last resort. That's what I would focus on. One honorable mention is this right here. If you use your discovery, you're level 30 plus, and you use summoning, this is super valuable. But that's what I have here. Hopefully the information in this video helped you out. If you have specific questions about where you're at, your level, and what I think you should do, comment down below. I'm always here to answer questions, comments, and just love you, because that's what I do. Live long and prosper. Stay safe, other space cowboys, and we'll catch you on the next Star Trek Fleet Command. Oh yeah.
Remember, Spock doesn't go on the Enterprise. Live long and prosper. All the best.
An even better outro than the intro for the Empire and glory to your house.